Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be walking through how to set up a Kanban board in your home office. Let's get started. There are 3 important things to consider when building your Kanban board. The first is going to be your location. I'd recommend putting this board in a place that is prominent. You're going to walk by and see it. It's going to help keep you accountable to your tasks related to the projects that you want to push forward. So pick a wall that's convenient to access and easily catches your eye as you walk by. Number 2, you want to think about the use case for this Kanban board. For example, is it going to be for your home projects? Is it for your career or your business? Is it for keeping track of the things you need to do related to your kids? Or is it a combination of one or more of those items? Whatever it is, figure out what the purpose of this board is before you begin this project. All right, now that we know where you're going to put this board and what you're going to use it for, the third thing you need to know is how are you going to build this board? Your basic Kanban board is going to have 3 to 5 columns to start out with, depending on what you need. So the first thing we need to do is figure out how do you want to create those columns. One simple way is to use painter's tape or washi tape, something that will remove easily from the wall later if you decide to move your board around. A second option is to purchase a Kanban kit. This comes with items such as your project title cards, as well as your column titles, and with pre-made strings to use as dividers to define your columns. I'll link to one of those kits in my description box down below. Be sure to check it out. Another option is to use a whiteboard as the backdrop for your Kanban board. Then all you would need to do is draw out your columns with a marker. My final idea for how you can build your board is to not draw out columns at all, but rather when you set up your tasks as well as your column headers, you'll know where to put your sticky notes into columns based off of where you put your column headers. It's a simple, minimalist approach to building your board. Now that you've decided how you want to build your board, let's jump into the nitty-gritty of the types of columns you may want to use. There are many different types of columns you can create for your Kanban board. At its very simplest, the minimum you're going to want is 3. And those 3 would be a backlog or your to-do column, a in-progress column or your currently doing column, and a finished column or done. To-do, doing, and done. Or kind of in industry terms, we call it backlog, work in progress, and completed. I'd recommend starting out with at least those 3 columns. There's another one that's also super helpful that you may find useful for yourself, and that is the blocked or waiting for column. This is where you can put tasks that are currently being blocked due to circumstances outside of your control. For example, waiting on someone else to complete something so that you can continue moving your portion of the task forward. I think you'll find a waiting for column pretty useful in most contexts. Another column that I personally really like is the someday or maybe column. This is a great place to capture ideas, tasks, or potential future projects that you may want to do, but that you're choosing to not do right now. You can put your mind at ease knowing that you've captured that idea and that if you ever wanted to refer back to it, it's right there in that someday maybe column. Now that you've decided what kind of columns you want for your Kanban board, now is the time to get it all set up. You're going to want to create title cards for the headers of your columns. I recommend these being at least twice as big as the sticky notes that you're going to use for the project tasks, but in a pinch, you could just use a sticky note as your title card for the column. For some awesome pre-made title cards, check out the Kanban kit I mentioned earlier in the description box below. It comes with everything you need to set up a board, from the pre-printed title cards to creating your columns. Check it out. It's a simple, quick solution. All right, so you've built your columns, you've added the column title cards at the top of each column. Last but not least, populate your Kanban board with your backlog. This is where you want to write out all those tasks that have been swirling around in your head. Give each task its own sticky note, put it in the backlog, and now you are ready to get stuff done. Now that you've created your Kanban board, Stay tuned for an upcoming video where I will walk through the details about how to use this board to manage your projects, whether for personal or business purposes. I think you'll find it super helpful. Well, that's everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have made your own Kanban board for your home office. I'd love to hear about it. Also, feel free to post any questions you may have. Stay tuned for more great videos coming your way next week. I can't wait to see you then.